Bolivarian Venezuela Embassy in India organized a friendship meet in the mission to express the solidarity with India. New Delhi's Anand Niketan-based mission called upon a group of like-minded people, former diplomats and pupils, to discuss the situation in Venezuela and the upcoming union elections in the state.
Well, today we had the solidarity meeting with students, legal students, with friends from different universities, and a few diplomats from India about the next election in Venezuela, which will take place on the 30th of July, which is the Constitutional Assembly, Constituent Assembly. There will be 545 members of the Constituent Assembly elected this next Sunday. And we were informing about the need for Venezuelan people to hear how the world is helping, supporting the truth about democracy in Venezuela and rejecting the violence, that violent opposition financed by non-governmental organizations that are financed by international agencies against any constitutional values, against any democratic values, and not respecting neither the constitution, the law, or democracy, and actually are causing a lot of deaths in Venezuela.
Ambassador of Venezuela also criticized the way American and European media is covering Venezuela. He said there are funded terrorists who want to destabilize Venezuela, but there are millions of people with the government and they do support the Nicolas Maduro government.
There is an obvious difference between reality in Venezuela and what the international corporate news agencies sell to the media around the world. They do not show to the world, they do not present the pictures and the footage that they take in Venezuela about the millions of mothers, workers, professionals, people in general, students, peasants who support President Maduro. And they don't show the violence and the equipment of the paramilitary that are being trained, financed, equipped, and that are being used to create deaths and to burn hospitals, burn supermarkets, burn food deposits, transportation, electrical installations. These media, these international news agencies are not selling the truth about Venezuela. Therefore, of course, their narrative is one of presenting the government of Venezuela in isolation, and that is not true. The truth is that they should be requested, people should request AP, Reuters, AFP, CNN for the thousands of pictures that they have, because their journalists are in Venezuela and they know and they take the pictures that which they do not distribute about two things. One, millions of people supporting, marching and doing the rallies in support of the government, in support of democracy, in support of the constitution, in support of elections, and they don't show the violence, the criminal violence, which is not carried out by people, normal people in Venezuela who have the right not to support President Maduro, but who need to wait until election time. And in elections is when you show, according to democratic values, who wins. So right now, what is happening is an international operation where the CIA, the government of the United States, is directing a complete picture against Venezuela.
Sonia Surbhi Gupta is a professor at Center for European and Latin American Studies at Jamia Millia Islamia University, Delhi. She recently visited the capital Caracas and witnessed the situation there. She briefed us that the situation there is not as awful, but propaganda against Venezuelan government is higher.
Yeah, so I was in Caracas in March this year. and I had participated in a few activities. And in fact, when I had gone there, though I read in Spanish and I inform myself, but even I had the impression that Caracas is a difficult city, it's full of criminals and there's a lot of violence going on. But when I went there, I was surprised to see a very happy people. I mean, for example, the museums are full of young children, and they have this wonderful orchestra system where people in the slums, as well as people in schools, young children, old people, it's kind of a movement, a music movement. And so all of them it's a happy country. Of course, there were evident problems, for example, the food shortages, but it wasn't like it's made out here in the media that people are starving and there's a famine. I mean, people in Venezuela have access to medicine, have access to housing, have access to education. And in fact, in the recent report of Human Development Index, Venezuela is far above any other Latin American country. It is among the high Human Development Index. So I must say that I was pleasantly surprised to see that here was a country where the Bolivarian revolution had actually given very positive results.
On the conclusion, the gathering chanted Vivo Venezuela song and wished a completely successful and massive turnout elections scheduled at the last week of this July. Bureau Report, Diplomacy Today.